When it's like I go out of my mind. It's like baby, I've reached a pressure line.
And we're back. Judd'z Budz, episode 83. There it is. The Matt Foy episode from 06 to 08. Played about 50-something games, I believe. As always, your host, Smoked Z, joined by my good buddy, Mr. At State of Hoppy. Hoppy, how the fuck are we doing?
I'd be doing a little bit better if the Penguins knew how to play in the third period, but outside that, I'm actually pretty good.
Yeah, that was a thing that did happen because hockey is back. It is so back. The NHL decided to stack the 3 games for the opening night last night. So I completely forgot about that, and I was like halfway home from work, and I was like, oh my god, the NHL is starting at 5:30 p.m. on a Tuesday. It's very funny to me. Just like really grand way to start. That game was sick though. The Lightning and Predators game, that one was unbelievable. Just nonstop action. Yeah. Kucherov's gonna put up 250 fucking points this year. He's unbelievable. A fully rested, healthy Kucherov is, I mean, that's gonna scare the shit out of me. But Bedard, yep, he's on the scene. He is now an NHL player officially, and poor Hoppy. That was an interesting game. I feel like let's just get right into it. Let's just go right into that. We need to give you your couple of minutes here. Just overall thoughts on the opener. I kind of feel like it'll take a few games for that team to kind of like get fully adjusted. I mean, it couldn't be more early, actually. So, thoughts?
I mean, I liked most of what I saw in the first 2 periods. Like, sure, there's things we can work out defensively. And yeah, the power play is probably going to take a couple weeks before we really see it at full go. Them putting Carlson on the sidewall is moronic and hopefully it gets fixed right away. But other than that, like first 2 periods, I was very happy. Third period, typical Pittsburgh Penguins, a lot of what we saw last year where you got the lead and then you just start playing a different game. And wow, did it show. It was not good. But I mean, by and large, I thought the team played well, and like tip of the cap to Mrazek, like he played better than expected, but also like Penguins bailed him out a ton. There were so many grade A opportunities that were whiffed. Like Gensel and Carlson both probably should have had 2 goals with just wide open feeds that they got set up for. I don't think the team was fully clicking. Really good though. Like the biggest positive, all about Graves and Brian Rust in a 1-game sample looks like he's back after a down year last year. But actually the biggest positive, 4th line was not a disaster, which last year that was a massive problem. Again, this is 1-game sample size. I'm sure everything I'm excited about will change. Everything I'm sad about will change. So whatever, but I'm not losing any sleep over it. It's just, of course, it had to be fucking Chicago. It had to be Bedard. And like, let me phrase this properly. Kid's going to be an absolute stud. He didn't impress me. What he did, though, was look like he belongs. He did not look out of place. He was not nervous. He was willing to try. Dude attempted 11 shots. Like, that's awesome. But everyone that's coming out being like, oh my God, this kid's for real. He's so good. Like, he didn't show me much that led me to believe that, besides just already the early inklings of, holy shit, look at this kid's release when he shoots it.
Yep.
But, like, do you disagree? Like, everyone is losing their mind. Like, oh my God, Bedard, such a great opener. Like, he didn't play bad. He just didn't really do anything to excite me.
Yeah. I think, well, first, actually, before I even start, like, with, like, specifics on Bedard, Sidney Crosby snapped that opening face-off. There was no
I knew you'd bring it up, so I left it be.
Dude, it was like the angriest snapping back of it. I was crying, laughing, like no mercy. Like
Whoa.
Bedard was still saying like thanks, man, to Kelly Sutherland, who was just like, Connor, welcome to the NHL, man. I'm like, what the fuck? You're so weird.
Yeah.
Almost as weird as who was it for the Vegas game? Goes, new season, it's gonna be electric.
Yeah.
All right, let's go. And then like, dude, what the fuck?
Pretty awkward.
So
pretty
weird.
awkward if we're being honest. But the other thing about that though, that like some people won't realize, and I'll absolutely give credit here to Jeff Merrick, because like I didn't even process this originally, but Sidney Crosby wins a lot of faceoffs, and he does most of them in a very particular way. He did not do his typical faceoff. And that tells me right away, with the conviction that he did it, like you said, snapped that right back, changed up his typical draw because he assumed Bedard would know it. He's putting a lot of thought into that first draw.
Oh yeah. Again, there on no planet was he going to lose that opening face-off to Connor, but there was no way. He was never gonna. I mean, he wasn't even. I thought he might fucking like drop the gloves right after how hard he snapped it back. Imagine he just like won the face-off and then just immediately piss pounded Connor. But, anyways,
Yeah.
I don't think Bedard did anything that warrants people like going nuts. I thought he played a very good hockey game, and the thing that stands out the most is like, what are you doing if you're not scoring a million goals every game? If you're Connor Bedard and you're the number one overall pick, you look like you belong, and he fucking looked like he belonged, looked very comfortable on the puck.
Completely agree.
And he took some major contact too. Like he got hit a few times hard, and he just got right back up. And everyone that's what like was wondering how's he going to handle the physicality of the NHL as a kid that's 5'10", 100 and whatever pounds. I think he will be fine. And the fact that he was just like rattling off 11 shot attempts, and he had one really good sequence was that one where he went like picked up the puck at his own blue line, and he displayed that fucking like ridiculous release that he has. It is so sneaky how he can just be like mid stick handle and just rifle, like perfect height too. It was a good save. Then he came back, won a loose puck again, eventually drew someone drew a penalty, I think. Oh that was when he got robbed twice on the doorstep, but eventually picks up a second assist for his first NHL point. So while I think it's impressive that he didn't score a goal or do exactly like what he's known for. Like he didn't like, but he looked really good, and his underlying numbers were ridiculous. Where like when he's on the ice, I think they had 70% of like the even strength shot attempts. He obviously attempted 9 of his own at even strength. Like he just looked like an NHL player on a team that, I mean, what a weird hockey team the Chicago Blackhawks are.
It is very
so happy
very
for my
weird.
guy Foligno, by the way. Very happy for my guy Nick Foligno.
You know who looks good though? And you've been saying this for a while now, but like the greater public kind of shit on this draft pick. Dude, Korchinski looks fucking real.
Yeah, that's the other thing. So that was what I was going to get to eventually too. Is like, it's almost like people forgot he was also a very high draft pick, also like a major high-end blue chip prospect, also making his NHL debut. And like, he looked very good.
I noticed him more than I noticed Bedard, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, he was awesome. And like, I think part of like, it's so hard to step into the NHL so soon after being drafted as a defenseman and like a high-end defenseman. And I actually think Bedard being there is going to help him not just be in because like, I mean, again, no one's really expecting much from the Blackhawks. So like, let's say he had like a down year or whatever, people still probably be like, all right, whatever. But like, even just the fact that, I mean, he's just going to be able to play and not really have to worry about being the spotlight so much because Bedard's got the spotlight every fucking game now. I think that actually will help him, especially as a defenseman on a very bad hockey team.
Well, I think what also helps him there, though, Z, maybe it's not as bad as some have said, but their blue line is bad.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a lot easier to not stand out as a bad defenseman when everyone's a bad defenseman, right?
Right. Yeah, 100%. But
so
yeah, no, he looked excellent, though. He looked excellent.
You know who's really in mid-season form, though? Those fucking color commentators for ESPN. Holy shit, dude. Like, I thought it was awful. So bad. And the best, though, pregame, the way they were talking about Bedard as he was sitting there on the, like, foam roller for his leg and just, like, literally drooling over how big his quads were. It was like borderline, like, I mean, he's 18, not 17. So I guess, you know.
Yeah, it was
bizarre.
But I'm
Like,
glad you brought this up too, because
Yeah,
there was one part I have to bring up, and we've talked about this so many times on here. Dave Jackson, the in-studio referee connoisseur guy, whatever, knows everything. That high sticking thing when Tyler Johnson got stuck in the face. He's like, great job by the referees. They did see it eventually. They called the penalty, and then like he's just like pumping their tires about that. All of a sudden, they come back, no penalty, and Dave Jackson just goes, "Yep, that's the right call again." Oh my god, this guy!
Just a yes man.
Like,
I don't know.
It's so NHL. It's unbelievably NHL. Where it's just like we're gonna have a ex-referee in the studio to pump the referee's tires all the time, always. Just like they nailed that. They are doing incredible.
I don't remember
who it
was, but because there were several things that I was just like beside myself with. But the one that I remember for sure was, and here, this Pittsburgh power play looks very familiar with the, of course, addition here of Erik Karlsson, which first off, adding Karlsson already completely changed it, but they were running a completely different power play than they've ever run. Like that could not have been more of an incorrect take. Couldn't have been worse placement for a comment. Like usually that'd be like a pretty easy like thing to drop in for, you know, a team that's got older guys that have been around for a while, but like just so far off from the truth that it tells me like, yeah, we're just literally cherry picking whatever like fluff comment we can throw in. We don't know anything about what we're talking about.
So good. It's just like they have it, it's their brand. It's just their brand. So
Yeah.
But I mean, overall, the slate of games, great 3 opening games. Vegas was absolutely rocking. And oh my god, they're gonna be filthy again.
Mm-hmm.
They are so fucking good.
I will say I don't mind having Riley Smith.
That was the other thing I was gonna bring with Pittsburgh too. Like obviously he didn't get on the score sheet. I thought he looked fantastic, like as the perfect middle six guy that you know is going to give you 40 to 60 points. He's going to be reliable. Like he's going to be he's like the perfect complementary piece for the Pittsburgh Penguins, where like they need those guys, and I think he's going to be very good there. And he was another guy actually, just because I was curious, I went in after. Excellent underlying numbers after the game too. Like only good things were happening with him on the ice. But yeah, I did like that signing a lot when they picked him up. So it'll be interesting. I think when they gel, they're going to be very good. Did you like the defense pairings that they went with for Pittsburgh?
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
I thought they for the most part got it right.
Too early to tell, but yes, that's what everyone expected, and I'm a fan. It'll be interesting to see how the third pairing evolves, and I'm sure there will be some shuffling, whether it's Graves with Letang or Karlsson, and then Pettersson as well, shuffling between the two of them. But that's your top 4 if you're healthy, no matter what. There's no question about it. I liked it. Again, first 2 periods. There's definitely things we can button up in the D zone, but we've got like 2 of our top 4 guys are brand new to the system. That's going to happen. We'll figure it out. Get used to playing with your guys. I'm not super concerned long-term there. Same with the power play. They're going to figure it out. They have the pieces. It's just what they had going was not right.
Right.
And Pittsburgh is just notorious too. The one thing that kind of drives me crazy that I thought might lessen this year, which clearly not. They make 1 or 2 extra passes every fucking time.
Every time.
Like,
it's crazy.
Dude, shoot the fucking puck. There are so many opportunities where it's like, dude, just shoot. Do not pass it, please. And they just refuse. It's like, oh no, there's one more pass that's going to make it even better. And then if I do one more after that, oh shit, got intercepted. Damn it. Should have seen this coming. So I don't know. I'm really not worried based off that one game, which I'm sure plenty of people are freaking out, but like saw enough that I liked. Good lesson right off the jump to not be complacent after you're up 2-0, because they always do that. Mm-hmm. And back to the ESPN stuff, we gotta mention here. Poor Barry Melrose stepping away permanently, probably from what it sounds like, but diagnosed with Parkinson's. Never want to see that happen to anybody.
Yeah, that was brutal. And the video they put out with Wayne Gretzky doing the like the voice, like that was it was a really cool video, but just a brutal situation. Obviously, it is a terrible fucking disease. So obviously, again, like not much more we can really even add to it other than all the best to him and his family. But tough news. That came out of nowhere. That sucked. But again, I thought that video they did was fucking awesome because it also just like highlighted things about Barry Miller. I just forgot. He's just been so good with media forever, just like doing the funniest shit. Like I forgot like all the stuff he did when he first started at ESPN. It was so funny back when they could pretty much do anything they wanted. But he's like leaned into it forever. I mean, everyone that comes across him just loves him. So yeah, no, all the best to Barry Melrose. That was brutal to see, but a lot of cool messages going out there too, and like sneaky stories that come out like from people that met Barry Melrose like 1 or 2 times, and just like the funniest stories. So all the best to Barry.
And according to Sean Cosgrove, current pace for the Penguins, they're actually going to decidedly land Macklin Celebrini, which would be kind of cool.
That's
I can't even say I'd be mad.
Yeah. Let's see here. All right. Well, day 2 of the NHL now. We got Leafs and Canadiens going on right now. You just know that they might have a very Toronto opener. Places.
Toronto opener literally means they're going to win by 4 or they're going to lose in embarrassing fashion. Like there's not much in between.
They'll go up 3-0 the first 10 minutes, and then you'll like look away. Third period, you check back in, they're down 7-3. You're like, oh yeah, jerseys on the ice. Like, let's see what else we got. Oh yeah, no, Carolina, Ottawa. That's going to be interesting. Ottawa, they're going for a. They're demanding playoffs, so there's bunch of more good games on tonight too. I am just hockey's NHL so back, and that Tampa Nashville opener was unbelievable. That was such a sick hockey game.
I don't know what drugs that game was on, but
it was awesome.
They need to give them to everybody.
I need 90% of the games this year to end up like that, mostly because I'll be hammering all the overs. I'm not kidding. Kucherov might go all the way off. He looks insane when they go on the power play, which was also unbelievable because Nashville would just like do a bunch of good things. And then be like, what if we just gave them another power play?
Yeah.
They'd score. And they're like, what if we just did it immediately again? You know, like, what if we just tried that? What if we just keep doing it?
Dude, what?
And Kucherov was like, okay, thank you.
We got to talk about the end of the game, though, where like you've had the line for the Lightning out there for like 2 minutes straight, and they're pinned in. They have to go back out there for the faceoff, and Forsberg demands a timeout from Burnett. Like that just seemed like such a first off stupid idea. Second off, is Burnett already Forsberg's bitch, or like what is the deal with that?
Oh, that was I remember like because everyone in Tampa, they're all like hands on the knees. They're just like leaned over, like dying, and they're like timeout. Like what? Huh? Like Nashville's buzzing too. They were like pressing for that.
That was a bizarre decision.
It was wild. And then I do hate him because he's a rat to play against, but he's phenomenal to watch. Kucherov did his thing, covered the puck line for the fellas with like 1.4 seconds left. He could have just not shot it, but I think someone tried to hit him. He's like, fuck you. Just put it in the net. I thought he was going to start a scrap after because he got hit right in the knee. But yeah. Oh, here we go. Come on.
Oh, Big Z. Got some grays.
Oh, yeah, baby. Let's go. Canadians 1-0. Yes. Brutal turnover. Breakaway goal.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot going on because then a lot of Minnesotans are probably tuned in here for the Twins. Rice Lewis smash. I imagine that means good things. I don't know, Sean.
Oh, my God.
You'll translate for us.
Funniest turnover. TJ Brody just tripped the blue line, coughed the puck up, breakaway goal. Let's go.
Before the next topic, quick shout out, Dual Citizen Brewing right here in the Twin Cities. Drinking the Elbow Bender Kolsch style ale. Solid. It is very Kolsch flavored. And Z, you're drinking probably a Miller, which is just sad.
Miller High Life Triple IPA. Yeah. Yeah, NHL all the way back. We are so back. I was falling asleep earlier, but now here we go.
Not all the way back. Gary Bettman is afraid of rainbows. And that is now kind of the story that's taking over the start of the season.
Yeah, this shit gets so exhausting. I don't really get it. None of their explanations make any sense. It makes the weirdest people on the internet happy, and then like go onto Twitter and start being like, "Oh yeah, we don't watch hockey for that." Like, well, you also aren't watching the warm-ups when they put fucking the pride tape on their sticks, but all right.
Well, dude, and the dichotomy of it, like, so you've got the people that are like thrilled, you've got the people that are pissed off, and it's turned into now like the statement that the NHL made was basically like, yeah, we didn't want to alienate or make players feel uncomfortable.
Insane.
It's like, okay, so you're picking a couple of players over like an entire group of people. Like, it's a South Park episode writing itself. Like, sorry, like you guys, like, we need to worry way more about the 5 people that feel uncomfortable here. They have rights, okay, as humans.
Unreal.
Just stupid. And then you've got like I've already seen it under I don't know if it was Russo or Joe Smith that posted something about it or shared something, and I saw some comments, and one guy's like, perfect, let's ban every like celebration night, like let's get rid of the armed forces and stuff like that. And someone's like, what an idiot to think that. Like, you're talking about people that save our lives versus people that are confused. And it's just like, Jesus Christ, I'm going to stop going down this thread because people are just morons.
Yeah, that's where I land. I'm like, I can't die. I can't do a deep dive on these fucking people, dude. Yeah, okay.
John Robinson comes in from the top rope.
Yeah. Again, it's the same. It's just like the NHL just embarrasses themselves.
They can't get out of their own way.
They
and like,
really
what are they going to do to enforce it? Because like,
players already are like, oh, well, we don't give a okay. Well, apparently NHL players are like, well, we're gonna fucking do it anyway, so fuck you guys. Which is just like, like, what do we do? Whatever. Bunch of fucking weirdos. But we can move on. I can't even spend energy.
We'll go to the next thing. And actually, I got one here, Z, that I didn't even include on the outline because I just remembered it now because it came up a couple of times on Russo's latest episode that people asked about this, and it's a wild concept. But apparently Matt Boldy right now, like, does not require waivers based on his like status as a player to go down to the AHL. What if, like, whenever it was in between games, there's a paper transaction and you're saving $7 million worth of your cap for stretches to build up? And like, even better, like, okay, who else is probably eligible if that's the case? Like, you got to think it's him and the whole crew, right? Him, Faber, Addison. What if the Wild are just like, you know what, let's go full heel on this. They get like a limo and like have all of them just partying their faces off on the way down to Iowa, get down there and show up, report, and then come right back. And it's literally just a 6-hour bender for them in a car. Can you imagine a better time?
Any fucking time they have like 2 days in between games, they just literally are just ripping it up in like a party bus on their way to Iowa and then just turning around and going back.
Seriously, like, that sounds like such an awesome time. And like, think about it, like, you're partying for the team.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of guys doing a solid for the team. Yeah, we'll go down.
Because that was like the first thing is like, okay, is Boldy really willing to like physically go there? It's like, well, if you got a couple of people that are his buddies also doing it with him and you make it worth his time, yeah, he'll step up and do one for the boys.
Can you imagine if they actually did this? Like, they're never going to fucking do this, but like, can you imagine?
Some of the best ideas will never be explored. Doesn't mean that we can't talk about it.
That's true. It's good.
I would love this.
Saving money, and baby.
By the law, or by the letter of the law, the league could not do anything about it as long as they physically get down to the facilities.
Yeah, they would. Now, I would just require them.
Then you're fucked.
I would require them going live on Instagram the whole trip. I just need to be a part of that. So
I
join
will
me on the
offer
phone.
my time. I will go with, and I will be the one that produces and records this entire event every time.
I'll chaperone. I'll make sure the boys are behaving themselves. Just make sure we're good. Can you imagine? That'd be unbelievable.
It just sounds incredible.
That's fucking some of these fucking ideas that come up. God bless people.
Not think about it.
I know. It's all I've been thinking about. I didn't even watch it. I'm not watching any hockey. I'm just thinking about this. There you go. You did not throw that on the outline that I totally read in full, word by word, getting ready for the episode.
All right,
that would be a very. We're just doing it for the cap. This is a business economic decision. So, but anyways,
that would be fantastic.
What else we got?
I mean, next order of business. After you said that it really doesn't make any sense, it's not the appropriate move for the culture of this team, the Wild still did it. They pulled the trigger. Kirill Kaprizov gets the A. Would you like to apologize?
Yes, because I definitely came out and was staunch in my. I was demanding. How dare you even consider giving Kaprizov the A? No, Kaprizov got the A. It's a very funny, he just it's so funny because he's not young, but anytime there's any kind of content whatsoever, the camera goes, he's just the stupid little fucking smirk, and he's just he got the A. But good for him. You know what? He's obviously by far the best player on this fucking team. And no matter what people want to say about he only signed for this many years, they give him all this money, he's gonna leave, which I've never been able to get myself to the point where he's gonna want to get out of here.
Straight up, that could not have been less hesitation when someone asked Russo, how much AAV on Kaprizov's next contract? He's like, 13 mil. Next question.
Yeah. Moving on. Thank you.
I'm like, at this point, to be honest, if the cap keeps going up the way we expect, 13 mil is a good deal.
Yeah, it's fine.
Take that instantly.
He's gonna say, I want this, and Billy G will be like, okay, thank you for the discount, no matter what. But I mean, the kid's literally since day one, obviously been all the way bought in. He fucking wants to score 5 goals every goddamn game. So fully deserved. Good for him. Love that he's got the A. Except obviously because I was so strongly disagreeing, with my. I'm so rather by the decision, but yeah, no, good for Kaprizov. Got the A, baby.
There are going to be 2 people that listen to this episode that are going to take from it, he's a fucking asshole.
I did, going back to the Pittsburgh thing, I thought it was very funny when they said no high stick. The first person that Kelly Sutherland went over to explain was Bedard. So I tweeted the clip. I was like, Bedard's already having the refs go to him first to explain everything. And I need to actually read this reply.
Some angry tweets.
It was the funniest reply it was easily the funniest one. Because he goes, oh, it's right here. Oh, God damn it. I found it.
Just go under Brainiac tweets.
Oh my God. Joke. ... I would have explained anything to him. 3 exclamation points. He has to earn that quote C or quote A to be able to get an explanation. Exclamation point. Where's the C to explain to? Great leadership on that team. He was standing next to Kelly Sutherland. I don't know. And it was just he was legitimately upset. Oh, Reeves just fought. Oh no, he just crushed that dude.
Reeves with more fights for Toronto in opening night than he has
fought Jack Guy
all year. Oh, good for Jack Guy. Which I still want someone to explain to me how that gets pronounced as Jack Guy, but to each their own.
Wow, there we go. People have been saying this too. There's a bunch of heavyweights in the Atlantic. There might be some nasty games in the Atlantic Division.
So give me your top 3. What are the top 3 tilts?
I wonder if Reeves and Lucic do go this year. They've never fought before. I wonder if that ends up happening.
I mean, I would love that.
Yeah, I feel like Jack Guy is going to try to go Luch at some point.
Okay, I like that. Do you add any
Those
other
are
ones?
3 of the fucking big boys right there. Like, I don't know who. I feel like, I mean, the big one everyone's going to want to see is going to be Luch and Reeves, but Kachuk will go anybody too.
No, I was just going to say, would you rather
Brady,
would you rather have those two, Reeves and Luch, or Kachuk v. Kachuk?
That'll never happen because Matthew knows that Brady would absolutely destroy him.
Correct.
He said as much too. People are like, oh, you guys would fight, and Matthew could. This was like 2 years ago. He's like, I would never fight that kid.
I agree, but he's also a guy that his wires would get crossed. Like, dude, if Ottawa's like beating them,
he also said his mother made them promise they'd never fight.
Oh.
No, they won't because their mother was just like, you will never fight in a game ever. Like, don't you dare. Like, okay, fine. And Walt's like, no, dude, they won't. Walt was like, no, they're not going to trust me. It's her house. She runs the show here.
All right, fine.
But the one I actually do want to see, I want to see Brady Kachuk versus Arbor Chakai. I feel like that would be an incredible tilt.
I feel like Chakai is taking that one.
Brady is
I'm not saying he's not.
Sick motherfucker.
I agree. But
I think it'd be a great fight.
Mutant.
Yeah. No, my replay's not working. God damn it. I swear to God, every stream sucks.
Do you think Darlene can throw?
No, but he can crush people.
Like he hurts people and he's got reach. Like, I feel like he could figure it out. Like, first go, no. But like, I feel like he could do it. Not in that league necessarily, but like maybe just the next tier down.
I don't know. I mean, like maybe like a middleweight. I don't know. I don't think he'll ever do it.
Probably not.
Well, I mean, I'm sure he'll get in one before the end of his career because he does crush people. But it's always funny too, like because he just signed that monster deal, $11 million.
Oh baby.
And be like, well, he's got to learn how to play defense. He's got to learn to play like tough. I'm like, okay, so just say you've never watched the Buffalo Sabres or Rasmus Dahlin play hockey ever in your fucking life, because that kid, since day one of when he was struggling in the NHL, he was fucking killing people. He throws some of the sickest zip checks ever. Like you should in his draft year, half of his highlights were him crushing people. He's unbelievable. He's so good.
Well, and it's funny.
Yeah, no, people are like, I learn how to play defense. Like, well, you just fucking saw a defenseman that put up like 70 points, get paid, and you're like, oh, he doesn't know how to play defense. Like, okay, just you never watched him play hockey before ever because he's very good defensively.
Yeah,
I can't stand that shit. That's this like that stuff that drives me insane.
But I love this shit though, like because Darlene, it's not something where he just like runs around like killing people. It's like as soon as you piss him off or start chirping at him, he is basically going to take a run at the next guy he can, and then he's going to go by your bench and be like, "You want to keep talking?"
He throws hits at the right time and he connects. Like it's just like he does it. Like he does the thing that everyone wants young defensemen to do, but then pretend like they don't do them because they're young. I'm like, okay,
right.
Well, whatever, loser. But yeah, we could move on from that one.
All right. Let's. I mean, it's already been talked about quite a bit, so we don't have to drag on with it. But Jared Spurgeon, obviously out for a stretch of time here. Are we pretty worried about the first couple weeks of the season here with him not being part of that blue line?
Yeah, have they said, like, I haven't, again, shocking, I still wasn't paying tons and tons of, have they said what their pairs are going to be now? Like, have they, like,
it looks like it's Middleton with Goligoski.
Oh, baby. That's where I'm, like, worried. It's just, like, what exactly that looks like. Because, I mean, I think Middleton is an excellent defenseman. I think he would play well with whoever, but I do think it's very like him with Spurgeon is obviously significantly different than him with anybody else, where it's just like most of the time he's going to do the right things and play well, but having Spurgeon right next to you too, not only does that help defensively, but also it also like just going for the puck. Like Spurgeon moves the puck very well. Middleton usually finds the guy that moves the puck very well. Like, so that's where I get concerned. But as long as it's not like Merrill Goligoski, I'll be all right. I think they'll be fine. But that was brutal because it was a weird one too, where like it looked like an awkward little collision in the corner. Like a pretty big hit, but not like explosive hit when Spurgeon got hurt.
Yeah.
Because like he like went down or anything, like he got back up, he just didn't come back on the ice. So hopefully it is not super long term, but they say a few weeks. Obviously that sucks. Does not help get off to a hot start. But I think they'll be okay. And hopefully it's not so that it just like continues to nag on throughout. That's really where my concern lies the most, is if it's a thing that like he comes back, plays 2 games, like, and it ends up just being one of those nagging injuries that really fucks you over for a while. That's where I get concerned, because it is that like knee or lower body, whatever it is. That's where I get nervous.
Yeah, I would hope that they'd be more cautious, and especially like if there's any question there, like why wouldn't you shut him down in LTIR and start banking cap, right?
Right. Yeah.
So I got to imagine that they're pretty confident that this is going to be okay in a couple weeks.
Right.
We'll see. And I think you know what I'm begging for right now.
Say it.
No, I don't think you know it.
I'll be honest with you, I was watching the replay of the Reeves Chakai fight. Chakai did quite well.
What is my dream pair?
Addison. Was it with Brody? I don't even know.
Addison Middleton.
Oh, right. Duh.
Form the mega person.
Yeah. That would be yeah, no, that's a whole lot of fun. That just leaves that other pair is just terrifying.
Agreed. I'm not arguing.
No, I know. I'm just like thinking about it off the top of my head now. Like,
all right, so would you rather have 2 pairings that are like C-, or do you want 1 pairing that's like a B-? Maybe if we get lucky, it's a B, and the other one's, well, more like a D.
Yeah, I'm about it. Fuck, let's do it. Let's just do it now. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Ooh. We'll do it live from the party bus.
Exactly. Thank you. Oh, good.
Right.
None of my streams are working.
On the flip side there, let's say that another injury like this comes up, whether it's later in the year, or let's say the Spurgeon one was more long-term and they did shut him down. Do you think the Wild would actually try and trade back for Matt Dumba? Bring him back in?
I saw this. This is one that I did look at the outline. I was like, where is it? Like, why is this being put on here? Yeah, they would and then immediately sign him to, the second they can. 6 by 100.
That's true. They could extend him right away.
Immediately.
Can you imagine the outrage? Can you imagine the reaction?
Yeah, I can about imagine it. Pretty much just exactly what was going on when he was on the ice for no reason, or just like on the bench, but like someone else would make a mistake. Oh, fucking Dumba did it again.
Back on the Spurgeon track, is Cosgrove onto something here? You can retroactively put him on LTIR if he misses an extra week.
Yeah, you can do that.
And then we get that much cap wiggle room. Yeah,
and again, that's why I would probably lean towards. I don't think it's going to be like the super long-term thing, but if it does end up being that, then that's an option that teams.
So then it's at least a silver lining.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Well, let's talk opener here briefly, because this is either going to be like really funny for people to listen to on Friday, or if Isha gets it up for Thursday, then hey, it's a primer going into the season opener. Only one that's out for the Wild is Spurgeon. Pretty sure that the Florida Panthers have a decent amount of injuries, don't they?
Yes.
For like notable guys, like what does that even look like? I'm actually going to pull up what Daily Faceoff has here.
I don't know, because I remember thinking that there was more than there actually was. The thing I'm very curious, well, one of the things that I'm like very curious to see with Florida is Ekman Larson. I'm like fascinated by how that could possibly turn out.
He's on the first pairing.
I'm at the
Kulikov is on the second pairing. Oh my God.
I forgot Kulikov resigned there.
This is going to be fun.
Oh
my goodness. So
but I remember in my head, I was like, Kachuk's going to be out, but Kachuk's not out.
Montour out. Ekblad out. Bennett probably out. Hornquist probably never playing again. And yeah, I thought Kachuk was supposed to be out, but it doesn't look like that's the case.
No, he's back. That's confirmed. I knew that.
So he's playing with Luosterainen, and is it Sordif?
Oh, is he? I haven't even. I'll be honest.
That's their line according to Daily Faceoff.
Well, there you go. Then that's it, because they're pretty reliable there.
But their third line is fun. Reinhart, Lundell, and Samoskevich.
I am very excited for. I love Samoskevich. He's so fun, dude. He's so nasty. He's very good. I remember when they made that pick, being very excited. Also, I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind. None of my streams work. This is the worst NHL season of all time. Nothing works.
Season canceled.
I'm just sitting here looking at loading circles. Like, I am miserable. I'm getting quickly extremely angry. I'm about to start screaming. Nothing works. Over. Nope. Doesn't work. I'm gonna lose it. And pop up. I give up. So I'll be not watching hockey today. It's over.
If you stop watching so much porn, you probably won't get as many pop-up ads.
That's the problem.
First lady comes home. Hey, what were you doing today? Watching some Russians.
You don't want to know. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, anything you want to point out for this opening matchup? Like, what? I mean, both teams are buzzing. Florida's obviously coming off of the disappointment of losing in the final. Obviously, a lot of injuries played into that. Wild, same old shit as always. Missing Spurgeon. They're missing some key guys. Like, where do you see the matchups, and do you think that this is one that the Wild take?
I do think the Wild do take this. But one thing that stood out more than most things in the preseason, and I actually like that he wasn't all over the score sheet this preseason, was I think Marco Rossi's been very good. And I think just looking at this matchup too, I would imagine that this is one that would be a favorable, like, welcome back to the show for him. So I'm going to be looking to see what kind of ice time he's going to actually get on that line. Because again, I think he's played like responsible hockey and done the things that he does very well. And he's just played a very mature game. So like, I am very excited to see specifically like how Rossi looks in this opener. Because again, it's not going to be like last year where he's just like holding that fourth line, doing all defensive like face-offs, not really getting any kind of major power. Like, even if he's not getting like over 15 minutes, right? He's the quality of ice time is where it really makes a difference. So that's one thing that, I mean, I'll be watching for that every game, obviously, but specifically just in this opener, how he kind of just approaches like this, because like the preseason's one thing, obviously, but this is now like where he's just going to be, oh my God.
John Robinson pushing Jesse Pierce directly in front of the bus. Jesse Pierce thinks Rossi sucks. We will see. Love it. And we've also got some conspiracy theories here, Z. Gun-toting granny. Basically insinuating that your crazy roommate that left may still have a key, and she's back hiding in your closet with an internet jammer.
She probably is, because she's still like half her shit's still here. So that was, it's been months. So apparently she's just gonna be kind of like a roommate forever.
There you go. That's fun.
With this goddamn internet.
Exciting. So is this a high scoring game or low scoring game?
I think it's gonna be low scoring, honestly. I think the only way it turns into a high scoring is Florida goaltending just shitting itself. I think that's
more where I sit, is like either Bobrovsky's still doing the same thing and it's low scoring, or Bobrovsky's back to what he was a couple months earlier, and not great. Not great.
I just don't see that. Like, I can't.
It's a hard one to handicap.
Yeah, but I do think it's ultimately like a low score. Like, I think it'll be like a 3-1, 2-0.
That's not what I want to hear. Because anyone in the chat, if you're going to the season opener, comment. Let me know. I'll be out there. I'll probably be at Tom Reed's way earlier than I should because I'm a degenerate.
Yeah, love that for you.
I mean, drinks, pull tabs. What else do I need?
I don't know. I can't think of anything.
I mean, I can't scream at the refs if I'm not properly hydrated. So,
well, if you do, Dave Jackson will be very upset about it.
Did they ever say what was going on with Knight Z? I know he's starting the year in the AHL, but like, is that something they're planning on doing for the year, or do we just not know?
I mean, he went into the player assistance program last year, so I don't know what the deal is with. Of course he did, and I can't see it.
Bedard just scored.
There he goes.
I missed it, so I'll watch the replay here in a second.
I won't watch the replay because nothing works. I am now stuck on this screen, so I lose again, as always, because I always will, and I never will win.
That's fair.
Good for him. I'm glad it was in Boston.
The Bruins are already worse than the Penguins because they got scored on by Bedard. Oh, wraparound.
I couldn't tell you. I am about 3 minutes behind.
So it's kind of a broken play here. He threw it to the net from the side. There's a cluster behind the net. Puck squirted out. He jumped on it quick. Goalie didn't have enough time to recover.
I'm glad you saw it.
No, you're not.
I mean, I'm getting so angry. I am livid. I'm having a terrible time. Oh, it loaded again after he went down the handshake line, or the whatever, after his flyby. I give up. We got to find something to talk about now.
All right. Well, we didn't get any submissions, I don't believe, for Brainiac tweets this week. So we'll see what happens next week, even though there were a couple I sent you that were pretty unhinged, but I can't go with my submissions. So we'll wait and see if anyone ultimately does it. I'm basically looking at Mateo, John Robinson, and Cosgrove. I feel like those are the ones that are most... I could see Gun-Toting Granny giving us some unhinged tweets too from others that they find, but we'll see. That one's getting tucked away for the time being. Do we want to talk then? Anything else we want to talk about? Wild, NHL, anything before we get into prospects?
No, I don't think so. My internet 100% is actually about to crash. Oh, no, okay. It's going up again. So
prospect roundup. Everyone got traded. Let's call it a night.
It happened. Thank God. Marat Khusnutdinov traded from Scott to Sochi. He's going to be playing with Michkov. He has not played yet. But this means that he will actually play hockey again, which is amazing. I also think if anyone was wondering if he would end up re-signing in Russia again, I think this pretty much takes that off the table as well. But just meaningful ice time and Sochi is a very different hockey team than they were last year, where like when Michkov went there, they were awful. And remained awful. They got a lot more young players.
Still better than Scott.
They're this year at this point they're way better than Scott. Scott lost. It just keeps on losing because they stink. They have a terrible coach. But I'm just excited. They're going to be playing a lot again. He'll be playing center. He'll be playing wing. It'll be interesting to see how that line shakes up. But like you can guarantee pretty much he's going to be playing with Matvei Michkov. So obviously very exciting. And now we can hit like a complete restart on this season. I still don't understand why he ended up on the bench so much with Scott, because like last year he was like leaned on in every single situation. They were in first place all year long, and he was their go-to guy for whatever they needed, whether it was killing a penalty, whether it was going on to preserve a lead late, whether they needed a big power play goal, whatever they needed, they would throw him on the ice. And all of a sudden this year, scratch, fourth line, scratch. So I don't know why that happened. I can't imagine it's a thing where it's like maybe he'll re-sign again, because I think at that point, like, you've completely lost him at that point.
Mm-hmm.
But either way, it's just only positive things that come from him getting traded over to Sochi. And I'm excited to finally see him play again and play with Michkov, because that's going to be awesome.
That will be very fun. Pretty much getting an early glimpse at what playing with Kaprizov could be. You never know.
Never know.
Not the only trade, though. After basically shitting on how awful the team is that he was playing for, Kalen Parker's been set free.
Kalen Parker has been set free from Victoria, goes over to Moose Jaw, and he looks great so far in his first few games over there. I think his second game, he scored an absolute rocket ship of a power play goal, getting a ton of offensive touches. Looks really good. He skates so well. And Moose Jaw is just, I mean, it's just a better environment, better situation than Victoria, because, again, they got the ever-living dog shit kicked out of him those first few games. But he's playing a ton, too. He's in that, like, second. He goes back and forth with, like, the first and second pair over there, too. Took a few shifts with Matejchuk, which was very fun. I was just like, this rules. Let them fucking cook together. So, again, another play that gets, like, that full-on restart after those first two games over in Victoria. It looks good so far. I think he's played like 24, 25 minutes each night. Had another assist last night, I think, in their 5-3 win. But yeah, no, he just looks really good. He's a fun player to watch, like, just very smooth in everything he does. And just another potential, future good, solid late pick for Minnesota. But very happy that he got set free over to Moose Jaw.
Like it. Question here from John Robinson. How do you guys get traded the first week of season? It's been a couple weeks, but I mean, first month, and that is like a fair question. Like, why does that? What goes wrong that happens so quickly?
I junior hockey, I have no idea. I could not tell you anything about how that shit works. It's either like, because it happens all the time. It's like right in the beginning of the year, and then obviously at the like CHL trade deadline, it gets fucking comical. It was like I forget all the pieces that went to and from, but it was like, I remember because there was like 5 or 6 players involved in the trade. And it was a pretty big package, especially for this early on, but it happens all the time. I don't know, maybe Kalen Parker was the one being like, yeah, I'm out of here, boys. I'm not doing this. This is just not fun. I'm not having a good time over here. I'm going to, wherever you want to send me, go ahead. But it was a pretty big, it was a big-ish trade for like this early on for sure. But yeah, I have no idea I really don't know what the actual conversations are like, because it's just like, it's also funny in my head, like trading like junior hockey players. It's just very funny to me.
Hey, no 12-year-olds were traded in this exchange.
No, there was no Zellweger package.
Insane still. All right, put you on the spot a little bit, and maybe you want to think on it for a second, but any other prospect in the Wild system, you get to pick one, they get traded to another team. Which player and what team are they landing on? Or just which player?
None of them are in like really bad spots now at this point. That's where it gets interesting. Because like Saginaw's real good. Owen Sound, like I mean maybe Petrovsky somewhere, but off the top of my head, I couldn't even tell you where.
Okay, here's one from Mateo. Now that he's buying in on our stuff, Stramel needs a trade or an AARP card. I know that you can't trade players in college hockey, but if you could just pick him up and drop him into a program, not for selfish reasons, so it can't just be like a copy paste BC or BU, but like, is there a program that you think is better fit for his development?
Not really, because I mean I don't know anything about what Wisconsin. They played, who was it? Augustana twice this past weekend. They won like 4-0 and 3-0. I didn't even bother like watching those games, but I mean I could picture him at like Denver with those crowds, like just killing people. I think people go nuts. Like, and they love that kind of player there too. Same thing with like Northeastern. If he were to come out like East, but I mean, like I need to like watch more like of Wisconsin with Mike Hastings to have any like firm idea. This is also a very different Wisconsin team just with the recruits they brought in, like their recruiting class. So that like a kid like William Whitelaw's there now, which is like the exact opposite of Charlie Stramel.
Fair. All right, so yeah, Charlie Stramel has entered the transfer portal. Rumors are he's going to land in Denver.
There you go.
Use that information responsibly.
Confirmed.
Any other prospects you want to hit on here, Z? Otherwise, I got one more topic that came through in the chat that I think you wanted to talk about.
Trying to think. I mean, Kumpalainen had a ridiculous game the other day. Yeah, 3 assist game where like, I mean, it's just so fun to watch him at 6'4", 6'5", 200 whatever pounds, like slowly dance through people, which is what he did on his 3rd assist. And like, he literally danced on 4 of their players, including the goalie, and then just dropped one off backdoor for a tap in, like open it. It was sick, but he had a great game for Oshawa. But yeah, no, I don't think anything pressing off the top of my head. I'm like, first off, scored again today. Next question. So
yeah, he's not coming back. So
yeah,
we'll just leave that be. All right, then one thing you said we wanted to talk about and then just forgot about. Looked at the cap friendly filter for comparable contracts to Hartman's to see if the people who said Guerin overpaid were right. They were very much not. Most of those guys suck. Let's talk about the Ryan Hartman contract that had not yet been completed upon our last recording.
0 complaints, and I can't figure out how anyone ended up complaining about it. I mean, like,
dude, we shared
about something, but
I shared from all of our accounts the story that Joe Smith did on Hartman's wedding and stuff. Dude, people were in there, like, just fucking barely like, hey, congrats on getting married, but fuck you. Give the money back. Like, okay. Like, really?
You can't even really come back and say anything back to those people because it's just like, well, okay, you're at this point first line center, guy that your franchise winger loves to play with, one of the only guys that's played really well in the playoffs every year.
Seriously.
You're going to get upset about him signing for what, 3 years was it? 3 years, $4 million?
Right. I'm sorry, compared to other
doing?
Contracts out there, and even compared to the contracts just got signed, I would argue that all things considered, he's probably the most valuable of the 3.
Yeah. And again, like, even if he's not your first line center, what he does, he adds value, whatever. Like, he's not just a guy that you need to produce. Like, he's going to be able to be valuable in every spot in the lineup, whether that's like with Kaprizov on that top line, or he can be a very good middle 6 forward that can produce offense as well. So like, I don't understand how anyone came back with that. Like anyone that said that shit, like, had those fucking tweets like drafted already, no matter what the contract was going to be. They're like, get out of the way, let the kids play. Like, it didn't really matter what fucking that contract ended up being. It was just like, obviously another older player. Which, like, okay, well, you've just lost me there. There's like, okay, anyone, like, the complaints that I did see, I was like, there's no arguing this because it's just not close to accurate. Like, it's not even like an arguable point.
Sidney Crosby sucks because he's Russian. Like,
yeah.
Where do I start?
I'm like, well, I don't know. I don't even know how to jump on this one, if I'm being honest. But yeah, no.
Defensemen are never good. Like, wait, huh?
Like, it doesn't prevent any young player from playing. It's not an overpay in terms of like the dollars. It's a 3-year term. There's just nothing to come back on. Like, it's just whatever. People will have to be angry about something. So there you go. It's good for him. I told you before, I was like very nervous about like after those they're like specifically the Foligno one. I was nervous about what the Hartman contract would come in at in terms of like term and dollars, more so with like term. And I was like, oh, what? This is what I was worried about. Okay, perfect.
So you gotta read Cosgrove's comment in the feed. I won't throw it on here because Isha won't be happy, but just made me chuckle. Yeah, I don't know. It's wild to me that people are upset. Like, again, I understand in general being upset that all 3 were extended. Like, if we just want to like look at that, and plus, like we talked last week, right? Like Freddie Gaudreau on top of it. So like, I understand that altogether, but any of these contracts individually, the only one that I can really see issue with is Foligno. And again, like everyone's talking about the youth movement that may or may not come. Like, we don't know where these guys are going to be at in their development paths once the big money comes off from Parise and Suter. And yeah. I think that like overpay maybe, but that's a guy that you need there to maintain the culture as you have all these young kids coming in. Like, that's the guy you want them to be learning from. Right.
Right. Exactly.
And I know that's why Guerin did it, but it's still like, I understand from people, if you want to say he made too much or got an extra year or 2 or whatever, I won't argue.
Yeah. It's just, I've said this before. People just like need to be mad. I don't know if it's just like being mad and disagreeing with the GM makes people feel like they're like putting really good points out into the world, and like make like it's just like makes people feel better. Maybe, I don't know, because I'm like, none of these things at no point have been like, oh, that's a major fuck up. Like, that's gonna kill you. Oh well, yeah, well, we don't have to. Again, it's unbelievable. It's 1-1. I just want to watch the goal, and it's only freezing on the good parts of this goddamn motherfucking stream. It's unbelievable. I'm going to die. I hope. Hopefully, if I'm lucky.
Yeah, and how do you pronounce the name of the kid that made the roster?
Poitras, Matty Poitras.
Yeah, he got the assist.
Of course he did. Couldn't tell you. Didn't watch it. It actually, so the puck went in after I looked over and didn't see it, and it froze until they literally the first time the video came back on and started working again was when they dropped the puck again, and now it's frozen again. I give up on everything. 1 bar of internet. This is crazy. It went up to 2. We're back down to 1. We got to end it. I don't think we have anything else. I'm dying. I'm going to scream. I need to break something. So we have to end the stream.
Okay, he wants to end the stream. Say goodbye.
Terrible episode. Sorry everybody. It was just a shit episode. I'm so angry.
Sorry everyone that this was such a bad episode. Z, cheer you up quick before we jump off. Shaka shooms.
Fuck off. I was just like, where is this going? There you go. All right. Well, yeah, no, night's turned around now.